that peeping in your window?
Turn out the light, he's seen him.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Voyeur movies.
Move right hand across left breast now.
For this list, we're taking a look at films in which watching people live their lives is the name of the game.
I'm not a stalker. These are just simple observations, natural side effects of chronic boredom.
Of course, there's an element of creepiness about the whole thing, because unsolicited surveillance is, well, creepy.
Say something, goddammit! You're on television!
But considering some people like to commit murders or plan attacks in their spare time, you never know what you might end up seeing. Number 10. Vacancy.
Regular room will be fine, thank you.
What happens when your car breaks down and you're forced to stay at the worst motel ever? Well, if you're Kate Beckinsale's and Luke Wilson's characters in this horror thriller, you almost get killed.
We need some help. Some people are trying to kill us.
In Vacancy, the actors play a married couple that winds up at a curiously vacant motel, only to further discover that it's essentially the go-to destination for snuff films.
What movie is that?
I don't...
They soon find out that each room is wired with cameras, and that they're constantly being watched by the uncharismatic motel manager who's got it in for the next pair of potential victims.
What?
They're watching you.
That is, if they don't make it out alive first.
911 emergency.
Yeah, they're trying to kill us.
I need your name and location, ma'am.
Number 9. Disturbia. Back before Shia LaBeouf was engaging in disturbing behavior in public, he was starring in Disturbia as a troubled teen under house arrest.
Losing a parent isn't easy. Which is why I'm sentencing you to 3 months house arrest.
Borrowing liberally from Alfred Hitchcock's 1954 thriller Rear Window, Disturbia follows the story of a teenage boy who believes he's witnessed his neighbor commit a murder.
I mean, I don't know what I saw. What if he killed her? I mean, I just...
Cale is hobbled with an ankle monitor and 3 months of home confinement after he attacks a teacher. But the boredom of his sentence eventually leads him to spying, and the spying leads him to get a glimpse of some questionable and possibly deadly activity by the mysterious Robert Turner. Number 8. The Conversation.
Yes, which I really would like to have the only copy of, Mr. Bentley.
In this Oscar-nominated thriller, Gene Hackman stars as Harry Call, a surveillance specialist with a guilty conscience.
Well, I'm getting fed up.
His new mission requires that he record a couple's conversation in the park, which he does successfully.
And now there he is, half dead on a park bench.
Once he filters the recording, he's racked with anxiety at the possibility that the recording could lead to their deaths.
He'd kill us if he got the chance.
Even further, he finds his reluctance to turn over the tape has placed him on the receiving end of covert surveillance.
Some guy's following me.
By the end of the film, he's the one being watched.
We know that you know, Mr. Cole. For your own sake, don't get involved any further. We'll be listening to you.
Number 7. Blowout.
Yes, I heard the blowout, but the first sound I heard was a bang.
1 minute you're a sound guy on a movie, just trying to follow your boss's orders.
I was recording sounds for a movie I'm working on.
The next, you're in the middle of a wide-scale political conspiracy, just trying to stay alive.
So why the does everything have to be a conspiracy, huh?
In this Brian De Palma thriller, John Travolta trades in his dancing shoes to play said movie sound tech, Jack Terry. After being instructed to record a realistic-sounding scream for a particular scene, he ends up witnessing a car accident that's not completely cut and dry. Jack quickly realizes that he's recorded some damning audio and is desperate to make the info public.
And I'm not going to stop until everyone in this country hears and sees the same thing.
But he's got some high-ranking conspirators to contend with.
So you got your choice. You can be crazy or dead. Either will do.
Number 6. 1 hour photo.
Can I help you, son?
Just dropping off some film.
While digital selfies may have made photo processing centers all but obsolete, there was a time when a 1 hour photo guy could have been low-key stalking you.
But we do have a system, and it works.
In one of his more disturbing performances, this psychological thriller sees Robin Williams play Cy Parrish, a lonely photo technician working in a developing clinic.
Mrs. Levitt has a problem. Offer her a free roll of film.
his life literally pales in comparison to that of the Yorkin family, with whom he's developed a particular obsession while developing their family pictures and making copies of them for himself. This infatuation with their seemingly idyllic life comes to a violent conclusion that also shatters the facade they've been living, and all but destroys Sai's life.
But I'm telling you, find another place to do your film. I do not want you back in here.
Number 5. American Beauty.
My name's Ricky. I just moved next door to you.
While a significant portion of American Beauty follows the exploits of Lester Burnham, the film's protagonist, also of note, is Ricky Fitz, the neighbor's kid.
I bet he's filming us right now.
Fitz is about as emo as most suburban teenagers, but he's also edgy because he deals drugs.
This is totally decent, and it's $300.
He seems to have a particular fascination with viewing the world through the lens of a camera, which he does frequently.
Look, I want you to stop filming me.
Filming plastic bags as well as his love interest, who happens to be Lester's daughter. Ricky has the tables turned on him when his own father spies on him and Lester through the garage window. Number 4. The Truman Show.
You have nothing to fear.
If it seems that sometimes the entire world revolves around you, then you might be onto something.
Tell me what's happening!
In this insightful serio comedy, Jim Carrey plays Truman Burbank, your average run-of-the-mill suburbanite with a regular job and a doting wife, and really happy, attentive neighbors.
Good morning!
Morning!
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What he doesn't know, however, is that his entire life is a lie, a fabrication.
I have been watching you your whole life.
In actuality, he's the star of a reality show that has followed him since birth, creating a world contained within a giant soundstage. And his existence has been watched by millions for years on end, 24/7.
I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Talk about a lack of privacy.
Sunbather, minding his own business.
Number 3. The Lives of Others.
Der OTS steht ab morgen früh auf dein Zeichen für die Verwanzung bereit.
This Oscar-winning German film shows us that sometimes watching people can have a life-changing effect on others.
Dass du nichts können bei der Stasi bist, das weiß doch jeder.
Set in East Germany in 1984, the story follows a Stasi agent who's been tasked with monitoring a playwright and his girlfriend. The Stasi agent becomes disillusioned with the government he works for, particularly after realizing that his mission was prompted by his boss's romantic obsession with the playwright's girlfriend.
Finden Sie was? Ich will beim schlimmsten Feind nicht geraten haben, mich zu enttäuschen.
Eventually, he begins to empathize so fully with the people he's watching that he loses sight of his mission altogether.
Ich war zu schwach. Ich kann nie wieder gut machen, was ich getan habe.
Es gibt nichts gut zu machen. Verstehst du? Es gibt nichts gut zu machen.
Number 2. Peeping Tom.
What causes people to be peeping toms?
When a movie is so controversial it ruins the director's career, obviously you have to see it.
I've been watching you. Oh.
This 1960 British thriller may have been too scandalous for audiences at the time, but the story of a serial killer who stalks and kills his victims on video camera would fit right in decades later. This disturbed cameraman, moonlighting as a rampaging killer on the side, likes to watch the murders he commits on videotape later, and revels in his victims' last moments.
And just to kill you isn't enough for him.
Snuff films and brief nudity may have scandalized British audiences at the time, but this was way before the internet.
When they felt the spike touching their throat and knew I was going to kill them, I made them watch their own deaths.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
It's a portal, and it takes you inside John Malkovich. You see the world through John Malkovich's eyes, and then after about 15 minutes, you're spit out into a ditch on the side of the New Jersey Turnpike.
Number 1. Rear Window.
New York State sentence for a Peeping Tom is 6 months in the workhouse.
Hello, Stella.
Hitchcock has a thing for watching people, similar to the voyeurism element in Psycho. Rear Window is full of peeping toms. But instead of a serial killer watching his victims through a peephole, this film's protagonist is a photographer with a broken leg.
How's your leg?
Jeff is wheelchair-bound and confined to his home due to his injury. So naturally, he starts watching his neighbors in the apartment complex next door.
That's the kind of a look a man gives when he's afraid somebody might be watching him.
When he witnesses what he believes is a murder committed by one of the occupants, Jeff pulls out his home detective hat and goes about investigating with the help of his girlfriend.
Murderer would never parade his crime in front of an open window.
With 4 Oscar nods, it's also undoubtedly one of Hitchcock's best.
Laser! Doyle!
Do you agree with our list?
Bullshit, nobody believe it.
What do you think is the best voyeur movie?
Get out of there! Get out! Put your hands up!
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Where else are you gonna get this kind of entertainment?